Hey folks, happy Friday. Hope you all had a good week. Starting a little bit late today. Just needed to finish some things before we streamed. But I'm live now. Ready to do some game dev. Carry on with our project for our silly little game. Switch over and get straight into it. Some nice music on the go. So I think where we left ourselves last time. There's getting some extra crack graphics in. Let's have a look. What did I write in my to do? Oh yeah, swapping out the rock. UI for replacing the rock. And effect of the castle falling down. So see what we can achieve today. So we need two different crack graphics. Hey dealer, how's it going? Good to see you. I've had a massive headache for like 3 days straight. Can't wait for the contest shit to be done. Oh, sorry to hear that. Absolutely hate having headaches at the best of times, but a 3-day one? Ooh. Yeah, that's not good, dude. Sending you all the well wishes. Yeah, headaches are not fun. I'm very fortunate I get them rarely, but even then, they're still not nice. I really do not envy those who are chronic sufferers. Let's have a look. In my pictures folder. Let's grab them from my pictures folder. Drag them into the game. So we've got crack free in the game. Let's move that over there for a sec. So we've got drag those in. 5, 8, 13, 14. Let's see what some of these look like. So 5 and 8 are very similar. I'll probably go for 8. Let's drag 8 into there. I'm thinking. Let's go 13 for that one. We can expand it a little bit more. Have a bit more crack variation. But we've got 4 different cracks. Varying chances. Possibly. Varying levels of chance of showing up on the wall. Let's give that a quick save. Because off stream I downloaded a few different crack graphics. Didn't get around to actually applying them. Let's see how it looks out. Variation doesn't seem too there's definitely can see some variation, but it doesn't feel random enough. We've got the whole Apple randomness problem, where it is random to a certain degree. It's random as computers can be, but it still doesn't feel random enough. Interesting that passes through. Probably haven't got the collider functioning on that corner. Oh, it must disappear straight away. So it is colliding, but because it's already touching the ground, it's running the rock touching ground code. Got space there we haven't hit. That's quite fun, running along the hedges there. Oh yeah, off it goes to the hills. Oh, across the hedges again. We've got 5 more points we've not hit yet apparently. Oh, is that some there? Again, that's the only thing with the cracks not being uniform anymore. Is that it's a bit harder to see what you haven't hit, which gives an element of challenge to the game, which is I'm all in favour of. 3 more points we've not hit. How about there? There we go. 2 more points. It does, to a certain extent, makes the game a little bit more. Gives it a slight puzzle element. Taker Kamori did a little bit of game testing for me and says, well, once you've hit most of it, you go, well, where are the missing squares I've not hit? So that certainly makes it feel like a puzzle that you need to find the last piece. There's 2 squares I've supposedly not hit. So we get to a point where I'm just throwing it randomly until it shows up. I'm pretty sure I've done everything on this side over here. Off it bounces. Ah, it's underneath the window. I see him now. Because in the shadow a little bit there. Was that the only one? I've got 2 under the window. Not seeing the other one. 1 more point to hit. So the thing is, it can't be showing a crack graphic without also saying that it's not hit. Because it's one bit of code that runs that labels the square as being hit and showing the crack. So it should be pretty accurate. But now, because the cracks aren't uniform, spotting it is going to be so much harder. Is that it? No. I'm genuinely lost. I might have to make a feature where it gives the player a hint as to where the crack is, because otherwise there'd be. I can see players getting a little bit stuck and go, well, I can't finish the level. The game is telling me I have a crack left to hit, but can't see it. Oh, excuse me. Right. I'm genuinely stuck. Well, I can see the 4 different cracks unavailable, so I might have to add options for additional cracks just to make it a little bit more random. So it looks random, but there's still enough of each of the crack types to make it feel not so random. I think wherever this crack is, it's going to be hidden by the general architecture of the building. Fortunately, even though the cracks are random in their appearance, they are still in a grid. So you should be able to see any open gaps, which I'm not seeing. I'm going to have to cheat myself a little bit and try and find which one it is. Because one game that immediately springs to mind when you've got a level of puzzle as well as kind of completion, like visual completion, is a Power Wash Simulator. Because that's a game where you have an area you need to cover by hitting everything. But there is a feature in that game which allows you to hit a button and flash orange where you have not hit yet. Right, so the wall is completely covered. Viscera cleanup detail. Yeah, I love that game. I have played it on stream a couple of times actually. As well as Power Wash Simulator. Love both of those. But yeah, they're games where there's bound to be something the player has missed and it allows you to see where that is. So I'm thinking I probably need to add that as a feature here. And it's not hard to do, because I've got scripts that is running and checking how many of these squares have the status of hit. Can I just go down by... I can. Right, let's do by the arrow keys. Which one's... Ah, there it is. Found it. Now where is that? What I can do to find that, if I... Greetings! Greetings, Jeffrey. How's it going, dude? It's good to see you. I hope you had a good week. So it is there. That one's there. Ah, there it is. Okay. It's on the window. There it is. So I had to cheat to find that one. So we'll have to implement a bit of script that highlights which parts of the castle haven't been hit yet. So I didn't see it missing on the window there. But yeah, that looks a little bit more random. But I think as we have 2 more crack designs loaded in, I should add 2 more cracks to the script. So let's quit out of that. Eventually I'm going to have to like sort all these things out, because these are all just in the root folder. Typically you have a folder for scripts, a folder for materials, folder for prefabs, but it's all in one folder at the moment. So I honestly didn't realise I would have this many objects. Especially as I didn't believe I would put this much time into something I was messing around with. How wrong I was. That's the one we want. So we need to add some more, two more cracked materials down here. Let's go into the script for that. Let's copy that. So we need a 5 and a 6. Five. Is the battery running low on my keyboard already? Let's be ready to plug that in. Let's save that. Drop that down. So we need to make so you've got crack mat 2, 3, 4 and then scene. So we put 4 on 6. Oh, we don't have to have 4 and 6. We could have make 6. Yeah. Either way, we need to make 2 more materials. It's a shame we can't just copy them. Or duplicate? No option for duplication by the looks of it. Okay. Let's create a new material. And call this crack mat 5. Then make it another material. Crack mat 6. I'm going to plug my keyboard in because the lights aren't lighting, and usually when that's the case it's going to die soon. I can't have that. So these need to be cut out. Cut out. So alpha cut off. Needs to be 0.025. And needs to be 1 and a 0 on the metallic and smoothness. So 1, 0. 1 and 0. And we're unticking these two. And let's drag drag that up here. Same for that one. Right. So you got 4 and 5 now. So the ones we haven't used. That's 5. Let's use this one for 5. So that's got the line crack. That's got 8. And that's got 3. So let's use 5. So they're all slightly different now. Let's go to the square. Let's drag in. So we've got 4, 5, and 6. Let's go to the code. So 6 is going to be the one that is just a hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Uh, 7, 8. And then 9, I suppose, for 5. Okay, see how this looks. Give that whole thing a save. Right. So I can see 4 different cracks in that space there. That's good. Yeah, it still doesn't feel random enough. But I'd have to write some probably more complicated script to make sure that a square adjacent to another square doesn't share the same crack graphic. That's gonna be way too over the top. So we only have those 2 of the holes next to each other. definitely doesn't feel random, even though that's a 1 in 10 chance to get a whole graphic. But it's entirely possible to get 2 in a row. That's how chances work. Now, with how deep those cracks look visually, you'd have thought the building's fallen down already. You only need to breathe on it and it will collapse. Which is kind of video game logic, I suppose, to that. The whole building won't collapse until this little corner of this wall over here has been hit. And then that is the structural integrity holding the entire building, and it all falls down. Now, I'm wondering whether I should change the whole graphic to look like an indented piece of stone. You know what I mean? Kind of like a darkened crater, rather than a full black hole, as if something's punched through reality. Just kind of have it darkened grey, so it looks like it's cracked in and kind of left an indent as opposed to just a crack. That'll probably be less in your face than the black hole. That would require some graphical working, so to speak, rather than just finding pictures on the internet. Although there might be something online that covers that. But yeah, it certainly needs to be like looks like a crater in a stone or piece of concrete. There we go. That wasn't so bad that time. Looking nice with the holes, indeed. It is looking nice. I'm just wondering what we can do to improve it. To be honest, this game was never meant to have too much time put into it. But graphics are something I need personally to work on. My skills for graphics are okay. What I don't know is how to make games to a certain extent. I know how to make this, I've made it now. But it's not testing my game development skills to worry too much about a crack. So yeah, we won't focus on... we'll focus on functionality, because what we need to do... swapping the rock out. So last time there was a lot of suggestion. I got all cloggy there. Sorry for not chatting more, but I'm doing chemistry theory, and if I don't finish everything, it'll keep piling on. Oh, definitely do. Do you work on your chemistry? I'm happy with lurkers. Even if you didn't say a word, I'm still very happy you're here. You do what you need to do. What's up? Hey Lisa. Sorry I'm late. No problem at all. Again, it's good to see you as well. Good to see anyone. Whether you're here for 1 second, 5 minutes, an hour. Whether you say 10 messages, 100 messages, 1 message, no messages. It's all good. How are you doing? Not too bad. Not too bad. I was planning to do a bit of a workout today, but the weather today has been so miserable. It's kind of like sucked Sucked all my motivation. So all I want to do is sleep right now. So I slept. I had a nap. It was just as well. I might have been yawning while I'm streaming. Yeah, weather's a bit horrible here too. Oh, sorry to hear that. Been typing on Mac all day, by the way, so typing on Windows are weird. Yeah, the keys and all that different. Today is kind of cold. Yeah, it's not a nice day today. Not a nice day. Like, it's cold, it's raining. It's the type of rain we have here is what we refer to like a fine, like a finer rain, where it's like tiny little droplets. So it's constant. So it's not like pattering rain where you can, like the relaxing type of rain where you hear it like hitting the glass and stuff, and it's kind of soothing to a certain extent. It's just constant mist water coming down. So it's not even a pleasant rain. So I was like, do I really want to walk to the gym? I drive to the gym, but then I have to walk from the car to the gym. And when I get to the gym when I'm wet, I was like, I'll just go home. I don't like how it's hot one day, cold the next. Yeah, we get that a lot. It's one of the stereotypical tropes of the British, is that we're always talking about the weather. And that's because the weather changes so often. It's like, well, what is the weather today? Well, it was one thing, but now I've looked out the window, it's completely different. So it's one of those things that, well, you can talk about the weather because it's always a ever-changing topic. It's not like, what's the weather like? Well, it's exactly the same as it was 2 hours ago. No, not the case. Well, unless it's raining. If it's raining, it's always raining. Yeah, we the Dutch also talk about the weather. It seems to be a thing, because we're in a similar climate, the weather changes. It's like, hey, let's talk about what the weather is doing right now, because it's certainly not what it was doing earlier. Alright. I am reasonably happy with that. I'm reasonably happy. So that's doing a thing. The thing it's doing, I'm happy with. You can literally just talk to some random strangers about the weather and no one will think it's weird. Exactly. You go, hi, how's it going? Oh, not bad. How's the weather like today? Oh, the weather's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, you can never predict what's going to happen in the weather. Yeah, I thought it was going to be sunny today, but it's raining. Oh, yeah, I wasn't prepared for the rain today. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. Goodbye. That could be a legitimate conversation. And it's your default conversation. Is that, well, I don't know what to talk about with this person. Hey, the weather's not bad today, is it? Oh, no, it's not bad. Wish it would brighten up, though. You see right about now, if it was a regular song, me know it's a regular song with a dead. That's a nice one. Got some new sneak energy today. Which way is it? They because it's Star Wars Day tomorrow. If you're not familiar, Star Wars Day being May the 4th. And May the 4th will be with you. The Sneak have brought out a completely unrelated branded design, which is in no way related to Star Wars, but happens to be based on their own film that no one's heard of, called Space Wizards. And it looks very much like Star Wars. We always call the weather beautiful, by the way. Most of the time it's sarcastic. Yeah, I get that. It's one phrase in English that when the weather's really wet and raining, we say, well, it's a nice weather for the ducks. Let's kind of put a positive spin on it. Yeah, oh, look at the weather. Yeah, it's nice weather for ducks. Whether the ducks enjoy the rain or not, I don't know. 4th of May in Netherlands is Remembrance Day. Oh, okay. Remember, ours is the November the 11th. Because I think that's when we considered the war to be done. Possibly. Yeah, May the 4th, because it sounds like May the Force. It's Star Wars Day. So tomorrow is Star Wars Day. But yeah, Sneak brought out 2 flavours. So this flavour, which is like the light side, and the dark side flavour, um, which I've got as both. The other ones are downstairs. But there's a black shaker with red graphics and a white shaker with blue graphics. The light side is a pina colada flavour, so coconut pineapple, which is very nice. This is, and the dark side is red berry, so things like raspberry, cherry, kind of all the mix of the red berries. But I definitely like the pina colada. It's very light on the tongue. No alcohol, but alcohol is optional. Do you do anything special for Remembrance Day? Do you do anything, or is there any parades? Normally we have like a service, like a church service in the UK. I never go to them, but it's like the churches always do a special service for Remembrance Day. No parades. Okay. Yeah, we normally have a parade where all the war veterans will attend. Whether they can walk, they walk. If they're on wheelchairs, they get through on wheelchairs, and they all wear their uniform, kind of thing. 2 minutes silence to remember the war casualties and people that laid down flowers. Okay, yeah, we do that as well. Some people read poems. Oh, that's nice. Basically it. Okay. What you describe sounds like our Liberation Day. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so we do the flowers, poems, 2 minutes of silence, but then there's also a parade, and the churches do things as well. But I've never been there. Usually I watch it on the TV, and if I'm... Because we do the 2 minutes at 11 o'clock, so at 11 o'clock on the 11th of the 11th, supposedly when the war was declared as over, which is very, very convenient that all the 11s. So we always have 2 minutes of silence at 11 o'clock on the 11th of the 11th. So the 11th of November at 11 o'clock. Always do take it seriously. That's cool. Yeah, I've never been to these things, but if it's on the TV, take a moment. And I remember when I used to work in retail, if I was in work when it happened, we'd kind of like go and stand at the front of the store and kind of like turn the music off, make an announcement just before across the speakers that so the customers knew that we'll be holding a 2 minute silence for the remembrance of those who were lost during the wars. And then all the staff would kind of like stand for a moment. And we would encourage the customers to do the same. But since I haven't worked in retail, it's not something that I've come across. I'm thinking I'm going to have to... crack 3 and 4 in here. So these two aren't being used. Let's delete that. So materials now empty. Let's put all of these in that materials folder. And that clears up some of this. Grass, reticles. There we go, that's a bit cleaner. No, that's a material, isn't it? Yeah, that's material. So that can go in there as well. Do we have the prefabs? Let's make a prefabs folder. Create folder. Prefabs. So a bowling ball, brick, bush, hill, grass. Hit grid, hit square, brick spawner. All into the prefabs. Let's make another folder for scripts. There we go. Nice and tidy. Let's make sure the game still runs. Yeah, it's all happy. Let's reopen Visual Studio because it closed after moving the scripts that were open. Didn't like that. Hey Grassam, just doing a drive-by to wish everyone a happy weekend and productive stream. Happy Friday to everyone in chat as well. Well, thank you very much for that. Hope you have a great weekend as well. And thank you for dropping in there. Now, why is that not... Oh, we've got a castle open anyway. Visual Studio. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Put that back again. So, what are we going to want now? Is to allow the player to swapping out the rock. So we need to make the script for that first. So that's in the camera pivot. I think. No, it's not. The stone's there. It's there. Okay. So I might have to do some little adjustments to how it works. Because at the moment, the rock is just this open element just here. It's out in the open, not attached or anything. It does have its own script attached. So, I'm thinking what I'm probably going to have to do is make an empty object, attach everything to the empty object, and then drop in the physical object into that. So the physical mesh object is another element of rock, or whatever we consider rock to be. So that possibly will mean repointing things. So this is where I potentially could have to break the game in order to make this change. But once I've done it, it's done and I can swap it. So let's do this, make a start. So create an empty and call it rock. So this is really going to have the same tags as over there. So let's make that a rock. Really been loving Celebrate. Nice. You look like you're enjoying it when I popped into your stream on Wednesday. It looks pretty cool though. So I haven't played them for ages, but as you say, like the Devil May Cry, Bayonetta type games, I enjoy playing. I like the running around, the hack and slash kind of sort of crazy jumping kind of gameplay. So that way it's just like, yeah, that's the raw power of the character against kind of otherworldly kind of creatures and sort of supernatural stuff. It's really fun gameplay. So if Stellar Blade is like those, I can certainly see that being fun. Let's just tap on that one. Game dev. What I'm going to do is just close some of these tabs on my browser because I don't need those open. Let's move rock up here so it's a bit closer. So rock launch script needs to be applied, I would say. Let's go to our scripts, rock launch. There's it, rock launch. Drag it into there. Right, let's have a look at what might have to take a. Okay, so we do pass in the rigid body, so that's going to be an interesting one to try and sort out. This is all learning. If it's too complicated to do, it means I've not learned how to do it yet. But this is something that I would possibly need to know how to do for future games. So doing this will give me a knowledge and a skill on what I need to be doing. Right, so forward force we're saying is 25. The left border, I don't think left border is even used. Right border is 2. Move increment 0.5. I think some of these are left over from the bowling ball scripts I borrowed. If I can take a look at these. Rock starting position is minus 1.956 by 0.92 by 22.154. Okay, so now I need to drag in leave that there for the moment. So I need the reticle target and the camera pivot. So reticle target is target and direction camera pivot direction. Nothing else. So it's only the rigid body that's been affected. So let's drag in one of the prefabs, which currently. Where's the rock? Rock's not there. Oh, because I bought it from the castle scene, didn't I? Models, prefabs. Can I copy that? Duplicate. Remove components. I think all of that. That's a good point. The positioning of the rock needs to be set the same as that one. Right, so technically those two rocks should be overlapping now. And the rotation will be down to the rock itself, I'd say. So I've taken off the rigid body, which I didn't actually want to do. Let's take a snapshot of that so I can copy it. So rigid body, oops, click. So 0.5 for mass. Drag is 100. Now do I want... Now it depends if I want to make the empty object have all these properties. That means I'm just swapping out the model. No, that's the question. We'll put all these in for now. So that rock is now identical as far as the rigid body goes. Now the scripting for that needs a rigid body. Now the rock itself does not have a rigid... The rock object now does not have a rigid body. Because it doesn't physically have something. But I suppose... finally finished! Wow! Congratulations! Glad to hear that, Feeder. But you're feeling so much better for that. You can relax now, hopefully. So what are we working on today exactly? So, we have added more crack graphics. That's what we're testing earlier. So we're happy that there's a multitude of different crack graphics now. That's all good. So what we're working on is making the structure that allows us to change this rock graphic to anything else, whether that be a chicken, a cow, a goat, a barrel. So we want to make it so we can change that. And then we need to give the player the ability to change it. Whether that be like a little pop-up menu on the side that you can literally just click on rock, cow, chicken, goat. And then if we have time, I'd like to try and work out the animation for the castle falling. But as it's already quite late, that might not happen today. So we're mainly working on putting the structure in place to make this rock replaceable. So if it's easy to replace it, then we can do all the scripting. Release the changer as a separate software that asks for money when you download it. Well, that's the business business structure there. Now, what you do if you want to change it, it'll cost you 100 castle coins to buy a new object, and 100 castle coins cost you $4.99 of your local currency to buy a small digital graphic. Nice. Yeah, I will not be doing that. At least not in this game. Paid for DLC, I'm all for. As long as it doesn't make too much of an impact on the game. But it's one of those things, if you like, people want to support the developer, they'll spend the money. It's like Fall Guys. Fall Guys has so much extra, but then it's how much of that money goes to yeah, Bolivian horse armor, yeah. That's a nice flavour. That's a very nice flavour indeed. I might have to buy myself another tub of it before it runs out of stock. Unfortunately, that flavour is limited edition, as a lot of flavours are these days with energy drinks. But I can drink. So, sorry about that. Not sure that pop was picked up there. The yeah, that flavour's really nice. Some of the flavours a bit, okay, once I've drank it, I won't miss it. That one, on the other hand, I can drink a lot of that. So I might have to buy a couple more tubs. Yeah, I'm all for paid DLC. Like Fall Guys does it particularly well. They got brand deals with different IPs, so like Doctor Who, wrestling, SpongeBob, things like that, where they can just literally what I'm about to do, change the graphic for actual cash. And like the horse armor, if it doesn't change the way the horse behaves, it just changes the way it looks. It's all money. In Romania, it's easier to buy alcohol and cigarettes as a minor than energy drinks. Oh, that's still not good, but I suppose caffeine can have a real effect on you, but then also cigarettes and alcohol. So that sounds like it's a panicked decision by the government to go, oh, energy drinks is what children are going for these days. We better make it hard for them. And there's bound to be still children trying to buy alcohol and cigarettes. When I was young, it was easy to get all free in the Netherlands. Ooh. Yeah. When I was younger, it wasn't too bad. They didn't ID you very much. What we have in the UK now is what they refer to as, for alcohol, it's Challenge 25, they call it. It used to be called Challenge 21, but they've changed it to Challenge 25. And if you look under the age of 25, you must show ID to buy a age-restricted item. It doesn't matter if the age restricted item is 18. Like, you have to be 18 to buy it. If you look under 25, you still need to show ID. Whereas before, it's like, well, you need to be 18. If you look under 18, we'll ask for the ID. If you look over 18, we won't. But there's so much leeway of what an 18-year-old can look like. They've made it challenge 25 just to be on the safe side. Saw that in a pub while in London, but on the slots only. Okay. Yeah, they usually have like a little sign by the bar. And in shops, like, well, if you look under 25, we're going to ask you for an ID. So it's a lot harder to pass for 25 unless you're over 18. I don't know of anyone that's under 18 that looks 25. That's very unfortunate. But yeah, all the slot machines were 18, but I think they've changed those to now. Anything like gambling, alcohol, cigarettes, sharp things like knives, solvents, chemicals, all those things, you have to look at least 25 and have ID. You can probably achieve the look with makeup and enough sleep deprivation. That's well, if you're heavily into drinking or smoking, it probably helps you as well. Yeah, that's. If you're not leading a healthy lifestyle, you probably look old enough to be having these things. But there's I'm not sure if they've passed it. The government in the UK are looking to put in a law that depending on your birth year will depend whether you can buy cigarettes. So not just your age, but your birth year. So you need to have been born after a certain year to buy cigarettes. And that's just going to be it. Like, you need to be born after this to buy cigarettes. So if you were born... Well, born before to buy cigarettes, sorry. Pretty sure they did that in New Zealand. Yes, I think I'd heard that, actually, yeah. So that means anyone who's born after the date, yeah, after 08 can't legally buy cigarettes. Oh, nice. Yeah, so the UK is looking to put that law in place, which I'm all in favour for. There's some people going, well, you're restricting my choice to harm my health if I want to harm my health. No, if you're an adult, you can still harm your health. And you're not going to have children campaigning to buy cigarettes. So, they're seeing it as a controlling, sort of state control kind of thing. There's enough control from the state as it is. Controlling things for your health that you have no benefit from, apart from sort of whatever chemical relief cigarettes and nicotine bring people right now. If you never have nicotine in your life, you're not going to be dependent on it. So I'm all in favour for a law that ages out the ability to buy nicotine products, but it's only on tobacco at the moment. So you can still buy vapes and nicotine juice for your vape and stuff like that. But tobacco itself, they're looking to age out. But yeah, it's not going to stop children from consuming nicotine at the moment. So that's another thing entirely. They're saying children are buying vapes. I don't know where from. Dodgy stores that are selling vapes to children, or older people giving vapes to children. Because could still happen with cigarettes. You go, hey, you're of an age that can buy cigarettes. Can you buy me some cigarettes? So that's happening with vapes at the moment, and the same vapes are too attractive to children. So fruity and colourful, and vending machines over here. Oh wow, yeah, that's going to make it easy. Unless the vending machine requires a bank card, and bank cards are only available to certain ages, maybe. Don't know. That doesn't stop someone from borrowing a older person's bank card. Yeah, we used to have cigarette vending machines at one stage. But yeah, I haven't seen those for a long time. Bank card from 14. Okay, that's not going to stop it then. Yeah, vending machines unfortunately would negate that kind of thing. Unless the vending machines are behind some kind of barrier that you can only access. Like I know a lot of slot machines, like gambling machines, are in areas that are 18 only kind of thing. Like bars and all that. You can't get into the bar unless you're 18, and you can't get to the slot machine. Doesn't stop people getting in if they're not checked, but yeah, hopefully that helps people not get hooked on nicotine in the first place. And that, to a certain extent, needs to be a bit more with food as well. But unfortunately, unhealthy food is cheaper to produce, so that's not going to be something I can work on right now. I bought a fighter jet eraser set for like 20 pence. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like fighter jets. I've got a friend of mine who's really into fighter jets. He can like name every single one just by a picture. I mean, this mix I did was really good. When was this? This was no, not that one. Oh, this was from August last year. I recorded this mix. I was on form for this. A lot of mix I criticised my own skill, but this one, being like the last one I think I recorded, I was doing really good. I need to get back on that. Eventually, there will be DJing happening over there again. I used to DJ on Fridays, but gave it a break. You know what? Let's do game dev instead. I'm all for learning new skills. We'll be looking quite late. Let's we've been going for just over an hour. Friday, I might have to start doing streams a bit early on Fridays, just to give myself some more time. But I started streaming at 9 PM British time on Fridays to give myself more like chill time. I finish work, I chill, I enjoy my Friday before streaming, and still enjoy my Friday, but enjoying Friday like peacefully by myself, a bit of quiet. But I'm enjoying streaming game dev and talking to you a lot, so I might have to start a little bit earlier, especially for those in Europe, because I know it's quite late for you. Now, I don't think I can add a rigid body to this. Oh, I can. But I don't have a mesh collider, do I? That's one thing I don't have. Interesting. Right, let's apply the rigid body parameters to the actual parent. Let's apply to this. 0.5, 100. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Tick all the boxes. Unreal Engine 5 has basically an advanced scratch-free mode. Hate when keys get acoustic here. Scratch-free mode. Scratch the code. What's scratch-free? I know of Scratch as a code language. Is that right? The silly children. Oh yes. With the blocks. Yeah, Scratch is good for learning. Like if you want to teach your child how to program, Scratch is good for that. It's like, hey, here's a block that does this. There's a block that does that. So this block puts the thing into that block. It's basically coding with Lego. Scratch 3, the latest version. That's kind of cool. If it allows children to make their first game in Unreal 5. Adults, well, I say people with enough skill to be making games generally should really be looking at something past Scratch. I know Unreal has visual scripting anyway, doesn't it? Like things like blueprints and you can do Unity can do visual scripting. The only thing with visual scripting is you're limited by the blocks. Like again with Lego, you can only build what blocks you have. Like if you want to make something that doesn't have a block, you kind of work with what's closest, but that's about it. It's quite functional too, but very spaghetti. Oh yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I've tried to keep this in C# as least amount of spaghetti as possible. That's probably why it's taken me a bit longer on things where I could just do that. But when I went to college, it's one of the things that they were very more so kind of strict. They made sure everyone in the class sort of were aware that spaghetti coding is a very big no-no. Yes, it works, but you will be kicking yourself when it stops working, and you can't work out why because everything is plugged into everything else. So you always want it to be kind of a linear, kind of like this thing only references that thing. It doesn't rely on it, kind of thing. As someone who does not know anything about coding, what is spaghetti coding? So let's open up the code here. I hear that term first time. So center photo or one the function of game. Oh, cool. Okay. So that doesn't look too bad on the surface of it. But yeah, if you look in Discord in the game dev, thank you for that, dealer. That's kind of almost like a visual representation. But you can still do spaghetti in actual text coding. It's very easy to do it. So if I wrote something here that carried on down here, did the code, but at this point here, references back to this piece up here, and then comes back down again, but doesn't reference that bit, comes down here, references something down here, which then references something up here, and carries on again. So it kind of self-references and comes back again, and then sort of skips code, and then sort of jumps over here, and think of it, if you just get a pencil and draw lots of different lines on a piece of paper, trying to find where the end starts and where it finishes is going to be quite hard because it's all over the place. So a good code, you should be able to look at it and go, okay, this is one thing, this is one thing, this is one thing, but this thing runs that thing, but this thing also runs that thing. So it's kind of hierarchical kind of thing. Like this thing will run that and that. And so that image of the visual scripting that Zia's posted, you can kind of see that where it's kind of hierarchical, but that goes into that, goes like that, and it just kind of comes down. But the beauty with object-oriented coding like this as well is that this count square hits function here, this piece of code can be run many times by many different things without being directly connected. So I can have 10 things running count square hit, and neither of them need each other to work. Does that make sense? It's all kind of like, yeah. So you get it, go. Learn something new too. But spaghetti means you just have no idea where any of it's going. The cool thing with Visual Studio, you might just about see on the stream, it might be a bit small, but above this function it says one reference. Just up here. If I click on that, it doesn't show on the stream, which is useful. But I click on that and a little window pops up telling me where in my code count square hit is being used. So this says one reference. It could say 10 references, so I know 10 things are using that. If it says 0 reference, there's no code using it. Like down here, it says 0 references, but it also says Unity message, which lets me know there isn't any code using this. So nowhere in the code does this get used, but Unity uses it. So it's very easy to trace where that is. But yeah, it's a very good picture you put in there, Dealer, of let's open it over here so I've got a better look. But you can see with that, the spaghetti of it, because it got a grey line feeding into a grey box, into a blue box, but then the blue box has a blue line feeding back into the green box, which then feeds back into the grey box. So you can see a bit of a loop going on there. Which, again, that would work. But you're kind of self-referencing, which can lead to something breaking. And generally, anyone who teaches you how to code tries to deter you from spaghetti programming. But hierarchical programming is definitely the way to go. And the same with object-oriented programming is hierarchical. You can make object-oriented programming spaghetti. So again, if I put run count squares inside reset castle hit, but then put reset castle hit inside count squares, and the whole thing self-references. This works like twice before breaking, and it took me 3 hours to figure out how to do collisions check with it. Ooh. Yeah, so like visual scripting like that is good to learn. It's good learning. Like if you don't know how to script, visual scripting is better than not scripting. You learn, okay, this thing into that thing into that thing. Well, this thing and this thing combined will then determine this thing. It gives you some kind of idea of structure. It is always better in the long run to try and learn the text coding, because you can do exactly what you want. Like, if I want to tweak this to do something unique, I can. I can write something to do something unique. But it does involve you learning the actual code scripting. But fortunately, there's a lot of literature out there that, like, a lot of this I didn't know until I started with this project. Now, I didn't know necessarily how to reference code from an object within another object. So that's kind of like taking a thing, looking at the thing. Well, this thing here looks at this thing, and inside this thing has the code. So this wants to look at the code in this thing. So it goes, okay, have a look at this thing, take the code, run it. So this code is still always in this object, but it just goes, hey, I want to borrow your code for a sec. Borrows it, runs it. And I wouldn't have known how to do that in Unity. I know how to do that generally in C# coding. Because that's referred to as a class. So you can go, well, I want to reference this class, and then I want to run the code within the class. So a class is an object in itself. I don't want to get too complicated on that. But in Unity, everything is an object. It's just, rather than functions within a class, you have components for visual objects. So a component is a function. Yeah. It's an extra layer on top of regular C# programming that I didn't know, but I do know. It's cool. Because the components are actually these things on the side here. So the rock launch script is a component, rigid body is a component. But in a C# class, this would be a function. So rather than referencing a function in a class, we're referencing a component in an object. So the principle's the same. How you get there is slightly different. But I don't know how you do that in visual scripting, like Scratch or Unity's visual scripting. Whether you can reference a thing within a thing, or whether the things are just standard things. Well, you either run this in its entirety, or you don't. Which things are you going to still implement in the game? So, I've been talking a lot this stream, which is not a bad thing, but it does slow down what I'm doing. So, things to implement, as I say, changing the rock out, giving the player, you can technically, but it's pain. Okay. I suppose that's a lot of visual scripting. It allows you to do things, but typing the script allows you to do it more directly. But it's interesting to know that. I wouldn't mind try visual scripting, but it's at this point, it's like, should I even bother? The only reason I would learn visual scripting is so I can teach my knowledge to other people. Get them going and then go, now you've learned that, just push that aside. Here's how you type it. As a stepping stone kind of thing. Implementation. I still need to make it so you can change the rock. I still need to make it so the building falls down. And I still need to add extras like what happens if you hit the tree, what happens if you hit the hedge, like Easter egg kind of things I still want to put in there. I've said before that if you hit the tree will wobble and birds will flutter out of it. Doesn't do anything in the game. It's just nice, I think. And it encourages the player to explore with hitting different things. So I want to do that. It's a bit of fun. Plus again, that's a level of skill that I don't know yet. I want to work out how to load different levels. In this case, do I just keep this plane the same and then load in a new castle? So like hide this castle, load in a new castle. Do I just do that? Or do I just completely transport the player to a completely different plane of existence with a new castle and just load in everything again? I don't know. That's one thing I don't know and I need to learn. The better way of, do I just like clear the table, put a new castle, clear the table, put a new castle, or do I just transport the player? Because in Unity we have scenes, and this is like sample scene. I could rename it, but it's called sample scene. And I could load different scenes. So okay, when level complete, click button, load scene 2, load scene 3, load scene 4. But then how do you transport all the elements? Do you have it have a function that loads in camera, objects and all that? How the castle shoot back? Possibly. I know that was mentioned, wasn't it? Like having to hit the castle, like someone leaning out the window to throw something back at you, and you have to hit them before they hit you. But then I would have to decide what happens if they hit you. Like, is there going to be a health bar? Yeah, you said that. Cool. Go, is there a health bar? Does the player die? Does it delay the player? Does it give them a delay? It's like, if they get hit, do they drop the rock? Have to wait 5 seconds before they can pick it up again? Is it just an inconvenience or is it a game over? I'd say it's important for you to be able to fail. I'd like to die. I suppose I could add it as a... but not one-hit death, no. So you could do a traditional 3-hit death, like 3 hits and you're out. Or you could have a health bar that gradually goes down. Thinking that too. Certainly for like level 1, don't have the player hit. Like level 2 or 3, up it, so okay, now you're gonna get hit, kind of thing. So that'd be something to increase the difficulty. Like okay, there's more complicated elements. Like the castle's defending themselves now. Maybe you have guards. Maybe there's guards in front of the castle that you have to hit first. And the guards are stopping you from getting there. So, that could be that progressingly added elements, maybe. Of course, I need to be able to work out how to do different levels before I get to that stage. I can implement the code for that and just turn it on and off. But have it happen in later levels, rather than just a different castle. So initially, each level is just going to be a different castle, but the gameplay will remain the same. But adding in elements of difficulty as you progress would be something desirable, I suppose. I like that. I like that idea. I should note that. What else was I thinking? So Easter eggs. Whether you have like a time event kind of thing, like you have so much time to get a bonus, like you see like a target that appears for 10 seconds. If you don't hit it within those 10 seconds, it's gone, and you lost a bonus, maybe. Things like that. So all of those are kind of extras to the gameplay that would improve it, I'd say. But I think I've got the basic structure now. So the game has the base level in there. You got things you can do. Once you've done the things, it's game over. So at this point, it's just improving the game. And of course, I still do want to animate this trebuchet and improve the player controls again. So the player is determining the velocity of the rock. Because at the moment, you hit spacebar or click the launch button, and it is launched with exactly the same velocity each time. There's no challenge in that. If the player is in charge of the velocity, they may not give it enough velocity and it will fall flat. It'll fall like too early. Too much velocity, you might shoot off. So having a way for the player to apply velocity. High stakes golf. Pretty much, I suppose. Yeah, it's kind of like a new level of golf. But that's one of the gameplay mechanics I wanted to put in from the beginning, is for the player to use the trebuchet and for them to be in control of the velocity of the rock. Again, I can probably work out the velocity controls before the trebuchet, because all this is just animating it, and when the trebuchet swings around, this is back to front, I realise, when it swings around to the top, that's when it's released and the rock goes flying. At that point, the velocity is applied. So that is just a nice visual thing, really. So I need to work out a way of the player determining velocity. Whether that is like a bow scenario where you draw it back, and depending on how far you draw it back is how much velocity apply to it when you let it go. So you've got like a backswing in golf, or a draw in an arrow shot. You kind of want to like swing, ready, and then go. So I need to work out that as a control. The rest of it's mostly visual and ads, like adding stuff to it. Not ads and adverts, but adding extra content. So yeah, so allowing the player to apply the velocity, adding things to hit that aren't currently the castle, such as the trees, people, a health system. Adding a health system would be useful for future games, so that's a good thing for me to learn. So yeah, I'll think about how that's going to be applied. Ooh, that's a tune. Right, we've got about 10 minutes left before I'd like to disappear, so see if we can work out this rock moving. So if I put that into there instead, that's the rock. I put that instead as the rock. And the question is, where is it? Oh, there it is. What's it doing down there? Right, so this one's all the way back here. That's too far. I think that should really probably be 0, 0, 0. Yes, cool. Okay, that's easy. Move that to the side. So I need to work out what's referring to the rock now. I think that's everything. Canvas, have a look. Okay, so that needs to have the rock in there. Angle up. Angle down. Score, does that need rock? Shouldn't do. Level complete does need rock. Play again. Doesn't need rock. Quit game. Does not need rock. Okay, so in theory I've copied everything over that needs to be copied over. Well, I don't know where the rock is then. It's not where it should be. Oh, now this is interesting. I'm dragging the rock along. Okay, that's not quite what I... Ah, it's because... Is it? As fun as that is, that's now not working. So it's moving around that object, but the rock itself is detached from the... The physical rock is detached from the virtual rock. So that's going to be interesting. So what happens to this rock when we run the game then? So is there any scripting on that? So that should not be... I wonder. Because there's the rigid body on that. Probably don't need a rigid body on here now. Let's remove that. Maybe that's the issue. Oh. Variable ridge of rigid body has not been signed. Ah, because it takes the rigid body from that. Oh dear. Can I put that in there? That's the mesh, but that is the rigid body. Will it work like that? Okay, we're part of the way there. Visually the rock isn't appearing where it should be. But that's not a major thing. But otherwise, I think this is functioning. Just need to work out where the rock goes when it resets. Because the rock is independent again, which is good. So in theory, I should be able to replace that rock with anything now. And the code will still work. Which is where I want it to be. If I can, as a developer, just change the rock at will now. Oh, the rock is down there. It's just off camera. So, that's just a tweak, I would say, for the player to see where the rock is. Which will change when I use the trebuchet anyway. That's not a major thing. But it's important the player knows they have the rock back in their possession. What happened there? What I'll do, I'll hit everything to see it complete. In the next stream, we'll look at code to swap out the the rock. Ooh, battery's low on my mouse. Thank you for letting me know. Corsair application. So it's there. It's just off screen there. Okay, let's so is it the code? The code. It's probably it physically drops. Maybe that's maybe what it is. It's probably where the camera's positioned and where the rock is. Camera's positioned so the rock actually falls onto the ground. Whereas before it was set and it wasn't. It wasn't falling before for some reason. Deserves more views. Well, thank you, Goba Games. Or Goober. How are you going today? Hope you're having a good Friday. Couldn't you tweak the movement so it's smoother rather than snappy? I could do. At the moment, it's moving by increments of like. It's very digital. Like if I click here, it's using very small movements. But it's saying more move by so much amount. But if I press the keyboard, I can hold it down. But again, I need to probably change the increment of movement to be smaller. Let's have a look at the. What is the increment of movement? Scripts, camera rotation. So if camera position is greater than minus 0.5, okay, so that's putting the border. Speed mod vector 3 point. So it's 0.0, 1.0. Let's have a look at that code specifically in the editor. Speed mod, speed mod. So it's a speed modifier, I think. Yeah. So at the moment it's 10, so I could put that down to 5. See how that looks. See how this looks. I know Unreal has a tween vector option for animations, but unsure about Unity. See it? That's a bit smoother there. Yeah, it's probably because I originally built this with on-screen controls. And if you're clicking it, you go, oh, come on, it's taking so long to try and move it. But with the keyboard controls, you can hold down the key. So it's smoother, but it's slower now. Eating a Braino. Ooh, nice. I love Brainos. So do I have a delay? I think I've got a delay, so I might have to... So you could use the on-screen controls for fine, but every time I click it, it's moving 1 point, which is 5 now. So every click is a 5 of movement. A movement of 5, sorry. But holding down the key, it's going like a move 5, move 5, move 5, move 5. But I have programmed a delay in there to stop it from swinging wildly left and right. I think that's in the player controls. Yeah. I think. No. This looks like Landfall pre-beta testing. Yeah, I've heard Landfall's not doing too well, is it? Score keyboards? Ah, I think this is what I want. Keyboard controls. Countdown. So countdown's provided. Where's countdown coming from? They released a game on April the 1st and made it free for that day only. Oh, okay. Private countdown. So where's countdown? Oh, countdown is... So this is why I should have made it a global thing. Oh, there, countdown 5. Countdown 5. That's way up here. Private integer count length. And make that... We'll make it 5 for a second, at least. So countdown equals 5. So countdown equals count length. And we can change it dynamically at the top. Well, globally at the top, I should say, not dynamically. And rightfully so, it reckons I should make it a read-only. Read-only modifier. Yeah, apply that. That's not the modifier. Apply that. Cool. Read only. Can't change it, but I can. Oh, we've reached. Oh, that was a short. Let's make it a 3 rather than a 5. Let's see how smooth that is. Well, it would be smooth as it has been, but it'll be faster on the keyboard controls. There you go. It's about the same speed as it was, but the movement's a bit smoother now. And the on-screen controls aren't too bad, depending how fast you can click your mouse or your finger if I put this onto mobile. But I'm looking to change the on-screen controls anyway to be more like a click and drag rather than a click, if that makes sense. So you kind of click, drag, then release. So it'd be the same as tap, drag and release kind of thing. But for keyboards, that looks a bit better. Hopefully that's a bit smooth. It's a little bit janky still. It would be nice to actually see it down there. But we can look at that next time. We'll improve the rock launching functions. And then we'll go on to improve the rock. We'll put the script in for changing what the rock is. Put the UI so the player can change the rock, and then look at further things. But I'll make a note in my Discord of some of the things we discussed today, and just tick those off as we go. Pixel Koi, how's it going? Hope you're having a good Friday. You've caught us right at the end, unfortunately. We are just signing off. But I will be back next Friday. Doing good, glad to hear. Do this every Friday from 9 PM British time. Working on this silly game. But what we have so far. Oh man, sorry about that. I'll give you a quick demo of what we're doing here. So we have a castle and we're throwing rocks at it. I'm about to go to work on my game too. Ooh, nice. What kind of game are you making? Yeah, so the basic premise is we're throwing a rock at a castle. If you need to know why, we're unhappy with the occupants of the castle, so we're throwing rocks at them. All very friendly stuff. Parkour game, oh nice. Like a Mirror's Edge type thing, or are you going for something, is it more of a 2D, are you going 3D? So I know Mirror's Edge is kind of one of the few 3D parkour games that are parkour related games. Other than Assassin's Creed has a bit of parkour. 18th century France plot. Ooh. That's cool. It's 3D game kind of like Only Up. Ah, nice. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, this what I'm working on at the moment is kind of my playground, so to speak. I've not planned what I'm doing on this necessarily. All my plans are in my Discord right now, and I'm writing it as I go. And with obviously suggestions from viewers. So I need to write down today's suggestions. Your game seems way better than mine. Oh, don't say that. Yours is going to be fantastic. This is just me. Ignore the graphics. The graphics I purchased. These are all purchased graphics that I bought for cheap from Humble Bundle. So if you're looking for cheap assets, keep an eye on Humble Bundle. They usually throw in like a Unity pack or Unreal pack, and you can just buy lots of things quite cheaply. So everything visually, oh, mouse has actually died. Thank you, mouse. Everything visual, like the tree, the buildings, those have all been purchased. The hills, I made the hills. The rock I purchased. But the coding is mine. All the functionality is mine. But ignore the way it looks. But all the scripting on there is what I've written. The only scripting I've added is spinning objects and a movement system. That's a good start. Don't knock that. Don't knock that at all. You have done a thing. Be proud of that. I've got to find my mouse cable, otherwise I can't click anything. I've only got my Stream Deck to interact with you folks. Now this is where I always think I put my cable in the same place, but it's never there when I look for it. But yeah, you made a start, and you shouldn't ever compare your work to anyone else's work, no matter what it is. Always look at making yourself better. Don't feel you need to be better than someone else. I know how to use Blender, but I've run out of inspiration. Ah, that sucks, dealer. So I've bought some, again, for Unity as well, I've purchased some courses to teach you how to do these things. So I did a few courses online, like 1 hour courses, learned how to do a few things in Unity, and then just gave it a go. I purchased some courses for Blender, so I'm going to give that a go soon so I can make my own objects and not have to rely on ones I've purchased. So it's all about learning, really. I'm trying to add a player model color picking system. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's That might be some interesting in itself. Like, I suppose you have a UI control, pick the color, and then apply the color to the model. That's all good fun. Blender stream coming soon. Yeah, I'll say some. Once I've done the courses, because I don't feel comfortable streaming the course because the course is copyrighted material, I suppose, in some way or form. But I'll learn Blender and then I'll stream me doing Blender as part of my game dev things. But once I've done these courses, because I want to make stuff, and Blender's the best place to go and make your own objects for Unreal and for Unity. But it's a yet another skill that I need to learn. And also I need to learn where I keep putting cables. Now, I can't continue the stream, all I can do is end it. I really do not know where I put it. Blender is really fun to learn while doing. Blender's really fun to learn while doing your own stuff. Okay. Also trying to make a mirror. It seems all mirrors. Game developers, unless the engine handles the mirror for you or some kind of plugin, trying to make a mirror has been the bane of so many game developers. Hopefully the engine has something, or like a third-party plugin that has something that allows you to do the mirror. Like 30 hours on mucking about, that's pretty cool. Mucking about is never a waste of time because you're learning stuff as you muck about. Figured out music, nice. I've not done music yet. That's one thing I don't know yet, Pixel, is that I need to work out sounds, which I don't think is too bad. I don't think it's going to be too hard, but I've not done it. So until I've done it, I can't say how easy it is for me to do personally. But I need to add sound. That's probably one thing we've not discussed in this so far, is sound. So maybe like a sound of the rock hitting the castle, like a crunk, like a cracky sound. Especially with the cracks appearing, like crack. So that'll be something to add. So that I can go tick. I know how to add sounds to Unity now. Adding music is pretty easy. Okay. That's something I do need to do. So at least I can tick it off to go. I know how to add music. Got a guitar and pirated Fruity Loop Studio. Nice. A lot of people have done exactly the same thing. Even just making music, just pirate a copy of Fruity Loop Studio. Mess around, make some music. Like I have Ableton Live. So I had Fruity Loops for a long time. Like before Studio, I had Fruity Loops, and then got Fruity Loop Studio. But I've not looked at it for a long time. But yeah, I tried with Ableton. Made a few things with Ableton. I have a SoundCloud. If you're interested, you just look for that name. But it's over a decade old now. Is there anything I should know about or add to my game? That's entirely up to you. You add what you would like to add, but the thing to keep in mind is your audience. Who you're making the game for. Firstly, the game's for yourself. So you're making what you want, but then you need to think, well, who else is going to play my game? What would they like to see? How will they expect the game to play? Like if it's an FPS game, you look at other things like Call of Duty, or things like that. Well, how do they play? How do players expect to pick up a controller and play? If you make it too different, they go, well, this doesn't play like any other games I've played before. So it needs to have a feel similar to games of a similar genre or gameplay style for players to pick it up and enjoy it. That's the only thing to think in mind. Keep in mind that players, anyone who plays it, are going to compare it to other things, and you need to at least keep it in line to a certain degree. Like most video games these days, if it's an FPS, most people take the trigger as a shoot. So if you say, well, shooting is now Y, people will be a bit confused by that. So everyone understands shoot, like aim, shoot. That's how an Xbox or PlayStation controller will work. And yeah, just like focus testing that. Once you've done a little bit, you go, well, find a friend or a couple of friends or people you trust to say, well, I'm making this thing. Sort of have a go with it. What do you think? and you just do a lot of feedback. Doing your own thing lets you send the message further. True. Oh yeah, so certainly don't make just what people want, because there's people always want the same thing. Now, this is a tester game for me. So I don't make this game to release. People have asked me to release it, so I'll release it. But the game I have designed in my head and on paper that I want to make is very much my own thing, my own interests, what I enjoy, but with elements that I know already exist that other people will enjoy. So once I've made that, I know people will enjoy it, and I'll still take feedback to go, okay, what am I missing to make this game a great game? I've also made a pretty good cloud model in Blender for the next section of the game. Ooh, nice. Let's see, you're doing quite well there. So I've not done any of that, Pixel. So you're ahead of me on that. So definitely don't look at what I'm doing and think I'm any better. But yeah, certainly do your own thing. Look at other stuff that is similar, and take inspiration and see what other players would expect from your game, but keep yours as unique as you want, but still incorporate elements that people would expect. If you make it too wild, it's kind of like people might find it a bit jarring or a bit hard to try and get into. But if you're running around, sort of obviously standard running controls which exist already, and then having an action button. I guess I'll watch videos on something like Only Up. Yeah, look at that. If you feel your game is going to be similar to Only Up, look at videos, see how that plays, take inspiration. Don't be afraid to do something and think you're copying, because these days all forms of art is at least taking inspiration from something that already exists. You can't not do it. Twitch gonna give us way less for Prime subs. Oh, that's assholes at the Twitch here. They're gonna make region based. That sucks. They're gonna make people actually pay for proper subs. My goal is to make a better game than my friend Mojo Lover. So there's a good challenge. A nice healthy rivalry to go, well, you know what? You make a game, I make a game. I'm going to do it better than you. And that's your motivation. Rather than go, I don't know why I'm making a game, I'm bored, I guess. Like, I want to make a game because I enjoy playing games. And I play so many games and go, you know what? I would love to make something. It's like watching a movie and go, I would love to make a movie. Or listen to some music and go, well, I'd love to make my own piece of music. That's why I'm at with this. Someone, for example, turkey subs to me, I now only get 9 cents. Oh wow! Well, it used to be $2.50. Now that sucks. That's not good at all. See, Twitch try and do a few things. Say, hey, we're good. Come and sort of check us out. We're doing things, but then they do things like this. But yeah, definitely keep us updated there, Pixel. Is there anywhere, any social medias or anything I can follow you on to see your progress, or have you not really got that far where you're able to promote stuff? I think I'll release my game soon. Ooh. But yeah, if you've got like a social media, I can something on YouTube. Cool. I'll go to Pixel Koi and I shall check you out, because I'm always interested in seeing indie developers, and because the big studios, they churn out the same thing all the time now. It's you can pretty much guarantee they're gonna take something that works, tweak it a little bit, throw it back out, because they don't want to take the risk. They don't want to spend all this money on something that people may or may not like. Whereas an indie developer will go, well, this is what I like. This is what a few people I know like. Maybe more people like it, and they take a chance. You should join the Discord and tell us when it's done. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join my Discord. The link is below my channel there. But yeah, more than happy for you to post in there. I do have a game dev channel, but you can post it anywhere. And sort of your updates, any screenshots. But I'll sub to you on YouTube and keep up to date with that as well. I'm always interested to see what other people are up to. I follow so many indie devs on Twitter. because I'm just eager to see something fresh, something different. Like one indie game that really amazed me. You don't have Discord. Ah, that's okay. That's okay. I'll keep up to date with you on your YouTube. And you're more than welcome to drop in my stream if I'm live and say, hey, my game's released. I'm not going to see that as self-promotion. You're more than welcome to do that. But yeah, one indie game that's really different. It still has elements that people expect, but it's unique. And that's Viewfinder. Viewfinder is in a camera viewfinder. And you're not familiar with Viewfinder. It's kind of like a virtual reality based. It's not, the game's not virtual reality, but within the game there's a virtual reality matrix type thing where you go into a virtual world and you have a camera that when you take a photo of what the player is looking at, it captures the 3D space and then allows the player to move that 3D space as a separate thing. So if you take a picture of a wall, you can then rotate that wall and you now have a platform you can stand on. So if there's a gap, you take a picture of a wall, rotate it, place it down, you now have a platform to bridge the gap. Or there's a thing up, like a higher platform you can't get to. You can then take a picture of something and move it. A puzzle game, kind of like a puzzle game, puzzle platformer. But definitely check out Viewfinders in Camera Viewfinder. Indie game. It's not too long. It's only a few hours. But it's unique. No other game allows you to take a picture with an in-game camera and then use your picture as a puzzle piece for the world. Just Google it. I highly recommend it. If you like puzzle and you like something unique, but that's an indie developer. Like a big AAA studio is never going to make that. Like Blizzard Activision would never make that. EA would never make it. So it's people doing what they think is cool and different and unique and what they want to see, while still keeping elements of what is known, which the control system, pretty simple, just walking around, jumping, like you would in any other first-person game. Big AAA studios don't come with any with the new crap. They don't. No. Thanks for the help. I'll sub to you and turn on notifications. Very much appreciate that, Pixel. I'll make sure I do that as well. Thanks. Yeah. If I'm saying the same thing twice, I get people's messages twice on my bot because I'm connected to Twitch and YouTube, as you probably guess. But yeah, I'm probably going to wrap the stream up now because I can't find my mouse cable. But I do have a Elgato Stream Deck, so I can turn the stream off remotely, which is fortunate. But yeah, thank you both. Thank you everyone who's been chatting today. Terrible. Yay. Now, let's put the full camera on. You can see my face now. Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. Sorry for you, those that have left, those that have joined a little bit later. As I say, I normally start around 9 PM British time and finish, do about a couple of hours, 2.5 hours. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Pixelcoy. I'll make sure I sub to you. Thank you, Dealer, coming back again. It's good to see you. Kotika Mori, Jeffrey, Lisa, and I see a few people lurking as well. You're all awesome. I shall have a stream on Monday doing Stardew Valley with the lovely Colt Hikikomori, the Saurus Rex, and Nix's Crafts. So if you like Stardew Valley, some chill streams, check us out on Monday, 7:30 PM British time. And then will be Wednesday for Lego Star Wars. I'm back here on Friday for some more game dev. So if you enjoy your game dev, make sure you come back here on Friday. But yeah, hope you have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend, and I shall see you on Monday. Stream was epic as always. See you Monday. Yes, indeed. Thank you all. Have a good night, and I shall see you on Monday. Good night.